What is up, everyone? It is Lavenji, once again joined by The Beginning, also known as Craig, and we're here for game number 2 of the Revival's first tournament show match.
Yes, hello Lavenji, and we are playing the second game. It's bad what is it?
Twin Moons.
Twin Moons. Sorry, because there's also a bad moon in the same pack, I think. So this is Twin Moons, normally an 8-player map, if I'm thinking correctly. Now been playing.
No, Bad Moon's the 8-player version. Twin Moon is the 4-player version.
Right, I've done my research. So both players are on one side, opposite each other, whilst the other half of the map, they are actually, well, they are separated, are they? But they have Braves over there. Is that right? Oh, how has Babbo got men over there? Oh, he's got him converted. Clever.
He's thrown a convert over there to grab that other base. That would normally be the green and blue bases. Well, I rotated red and blue, but yeah.
Okay.
There is nothing in the rules that say the players cannot utilize additional bases. Mammoth did it in his series in Nisi and almost brought it back, actually, and almost claimed victory. You've got Cess-style gargoyles here. Praying to them will connect you to the center gargoyle and grant you a free convert. And then this gargoyle here will connect you to the stonehead in the center of the map and also give whoever completes the prey a free charge of firestorm.
Okay.
Then the stonehead in the center is what we like to call the Gabba stonehead. It will give you a volcano, but your punishment for doing so, it will blow itself up. Effectively.
Yes, so you will get the reward, but you'll also die.
You'll lose whatever's praying there, that is for sure.
An interesting texture here. Not one of the originals.
Very colourful texture. And I haven't introed the players, so in our yellow base, he's down one game, but I thought he brought out some interesting tactics. Representing Clan Overpowered, it is Babbo. His opponent up 1-0 already. He's already built a temple. Representing Clan Divinity Slaves, it is Nisi.
I was looking for the temple, but you mean the previous game.
Yes, yeah. He built a temple in the previous game. Because I was quite fond of that statistic. I was building it up. I was like, how long can Nisi go without building a temple? And the answer is not very. He built it in the first game.
Nisi hasn't done any converts on the other island there. And there's a lot of wildmen he could easily snatch. Yeah, so
Babbo did drop me a message and he was like, I'm pretty sure you can reach the other island with a convert from your core. And it does appear that has worked as he's built up a second base, but he is going to need to connect them at some point. Because that base, providing population, is nice and all. It's going to be a good injection to the mana, but it's also going to be a pain in the backside to micromanage. And Babbo's micro's not great at the best of times.
Yeah, and I must say, these bases at the back are quite close. So, Shaman Blast there. Babbo's going to back off. Yeah, the bases are quite close, so if someone does get a vehicle, they'd be over there very, very quickly.
So I suspect that what Babbo is doing here... Oh no, he might be he's disproving me. What's happened on this map so far is the person who starts the prey often ends up losing it because it goes back and forth between shamans killing each other, and then someone gets a free firestorm for no reason. Babbo appears to be lagging, but I've closed everything that I possibly can for him.
I'll try to fix my hotkeys, but I didn't have time.
You're more than welcome to fix your hotkeys if you really want.
I don't want to ruin my my viewership for when I upload my own video in 6 months' time.
It'll be a good video.
What are the players playing for here? This is obviously the final of the tournament, best of 7, but what is the reward? What will the winner take home that the runner-up will be envious of? Besides bragging rights.
Oh, hold on 1 second. We have a blast coming out of Nisi, getting the kill onto Babbo there, who was patrolling his shaman backwards and forwards. A couple of converts out of Nisi. Babbo hasn't yet filled his towers.
And no spells. There's the earthquake. It's just charged.
Yep, Nisi's charged an earthquake. It'll be interesting to see what else Nisi has. Because I strongly suspect he hasn't just not charged anything. Earthquake onto the Fire Warrior training hut does seem good. Let's see what the lava does. The lava is not Nisi's friend in this occasion. Fire Warrior hut choosing not to sink into the land. But there's a lot of Braves being blasted here by Nisi's Shaman, who's on the warpath. Babu still has the population lead thanks to that second base, but it's minute and gone now.
And Nisi's doing a lot of damage here just with the blasts. And he's managing to survive with the old blast trickaroonie there. He's down to 38 pop Nisi now. Babel, sorry. Whilst Nisi's on 48, so he's down by 10.
The other problem for Babbo that he's going to experience now is half of his pop is going to be spawning on the island where it's no use to him.
And Nisi could quite easily train a preacher, put him in a balloon or a boat, and send them over there.
Have a little look at what Nisi's base is doing. Nisi has got only a Fire Warrior training hut at the moment. Of course, he's been harvesting all of his trees, managing his wood, as you would expect on a map like this. Tornado coming out for Babbo here. Weakened... no, those are real Braves. Thought it was the weakened Ghost Army just about getting in the tower, but no, those are real Braves picked up by the converts.
I think the ghosts are so weak these days in this revival mode, they can't even survive half a second. Don't even survive a punch or anything, do they?
No, I think they have 1 HP.
Yeah.
I think they have 1 HP, so they get breathed on by a Fire Warrior and they die. Can't tell if... I think that's a second Fire Warrior hut coming up for Babbo there, not waiting to repair the one that he already has.
Certainly is. So when the other one's repairable, maybe he'll dismantle. But no, it's actually getting built now. So is he going to cancel the one, or is he going to opt for 2 Fire Warrior huts?
Fire Warriors are, I would say, well, they're always a very powerful unit type, but I think they have a much stronger place in Revival as just a unit that you have out on the field with the presence of Preachers. Having a couple of Fire Warriors in your army does change that dynamic a little bit. Well, it does appear a good spot. Nisi's gotten a Brave onto the other island, and he has started building a base of his own as well.
Significantly further behind Babel's second base, but obviously Nisi's main base, he'd be more happy to have that one performing better than 2 half-performing bases, if that makes sense to you? Or is that my Aperol Spritz talking? Nice lightning!
It absolutely does. Ooh, what a lightning from Babbo there. He's going to try to secure this free Firestorm. I mean, a free Firestorm is a free Firestorm, but look what Nisi is doing here. There's 2 structures there that you're going to want to look at.
I am noticing a temple and a boat hut. And I might not be right, but we don't normally see that in multiplayer.
No, we definitely don't see that often in multiplayer. And what's more, even in the last game, we didn't see that burst from Nisi. Nisi's actually got a temple before Babbo, and he's got a boathouse as well. So I think Nisi's sort of read your mind, and that boathouse is going to go straight to Babbo's second base. There's no troops there. Babbo is working on a temple.
He's got the free Firestorm, Babbo. He's got the land bridge, that huge land bridge, over to the centre there. But Nisi is creating land to connect to his second island. Is he going to... What's he doing?
I think
he's
Nisi's
going to send
just...
men across. That's it. Yeah, he's going to expand across.
Nisi's just going to have that path so that the 2 bases are actually useful to one another. Because now if Babbo wanted to attack that position before it was established, Nisi's now got the path to go and defend it. Whereas Babbo's in for a shock as these priests going to jump into a boat.
You know what we haven't seen yet? Obviously the priests are in a boat now, but we haven't seen invisible units. I would love to see some invisible fireworks from Babbo to take Nisi Shima by surprise.
Invisible Fire Warriors would be nice. Babbo's just opting for the perfectly visible Fire Warriors, assisted by Shaman Blast and lightning from both Shamans, failing to find the mark there.
Second
Babbo
one's connected.
Another one.
How much more beneficial would it have been there to have a magical shield around those Fire Warriors on your Shaman? Or maybe Nisi has a...
what unfortunate timing for that hut to upgrade. If Babbo sees that, he doesn't. He's controlling something. Oh, he's controlling his base because there's
preachers are there.
it.
Just as we thought, Lavenji. They've landed. He tried to build his own temple there. He hasn't managed to get any of his own preachers trained now. Babbo's at a risk of losing his entire second base.
Warriors. This is not looking good for Babbo right now. His second base under threat from the preachers, the holy boys. And Babbo dying to just 2 fire warriors on the front line as well, meaning Nisi has sort of a 2-pronged attack here.
This is where players' macro and the APM really comes into play here.
It looks like there is another boat shepherding yet more preachers onto that island. Gonna absolutely tear this down.
This is such a great play. I mean, it was expected, but was the previous... How many games has Nisi played before this? Did you just play the one?
He only played one best-of series against Mammut because he got a bye in the first round, and then he had a disqualified opponent in the second round who didn't show up. So he only played a set against Mammut.
But him opting not to use preachers, did he even use boats in those games?
No. Actually, even this map was one of the maps played in the last games, and Nisi did a traditional pop-RE backdoor with land bridges and flattens.
I wonder if that was part of the mind games. As he enters,
could very well be.
As he enters Babbo's main base, he's got Landbridge, Lightnings. Babbo's Shaman is making the return now, which gives the Preachers in his second base more time to convert half of his population.
I do like that Landbridge from Nisi. It's going to give his Fire Warriors easy access to the high ground, as well as his Shaman Lightning coming down onto Babbo's Shaman does secure the kill as an Earthquake comes down in the heart of the yellow base.
Earthquake, still a very powerful spell here. These Fire Warriors protecting the Shaman, could be magical shielded here to prevent him from getting lightninged again. Very dominant position here for Nisi.
Babbo has got Fire Warriors out on the second island, so he can slowly clear up those Preachers if his micromanagement is good. But just as soon as he puts out one fire, Nisi's lit another. His main base is now under severe attack.
He's patrolling the Fire Warriors towards the center for recognition sites. Babbo's Shaman's back now. Manages to escape a tricky situation there, whilst the Preachers of Nisi have taken over the Stonehead in the center.
Certainly have. We'll see if Nisi continues that prey. He does know it's a volcano because he was the one that completed the prey on it last time. It showed me what it was.
Nisi with 23.
A little bit faster. He's got lots of idle Fire Warriors and still Preachers in his second base.
He's got so much to do now. He's 23 population behind. Nisi's in control of the map. He's got map control, and he is beginning to expand in his second base now, so the population lead is just going to increase further.
The only saving grace that Babbo has is he did get that free Firestorm, and a Firestorm used correctly can be a game-changing spell, but Nisi's...
Where does he use it?
Exactly, where do you use it? And also, Nisi's getting to the point where a Firestorm's not going to be a big deal for him. He'll just be able to charge one. Keep your free Firestorm.
There are boats all around the globe now. It's just fun to see. As much as I don't like boats, it's mostly when I have to control them. It's good to watch other people use them and struggle. Well, you say struggle, but I'm thinking, how good is this boat control from Nisi? He's been pulling Braves away from the second base as he preaches them. He's been sending additional preachers. He's got multiple boats on the go. It's a little bit like watching an AI with the boats. A lightning battle here now. Want to see some magical shield, but the connect again from the lightning. It's rare to see these players using lightnings so often. They normally advocate for not using lightning, but they can obviously understand its importance here. There's been no changes to lightning in the revival mode. There's been no changes to lightning, but I think there's been significant changes to the shaman's destructive power, right? When she's got access to things like Hypnotize, Magical Shield, the buffed Erode, as well as the traditional spells that we already know from multiplayer, healing a shaman becomes a lot more important. There's the free Firestorm. It's going to get Babbo into the base, maybe. I don't know, his shaman's having a little bit of a rough time with pathfinding. She's failing to get in there twice now. The Firestorm does come down. It's not perfectly placed, but I think it's going to get those 3 huts, and it in fact does. Earthquake from Babbo onto the temple. Nishi Shaman's come back, and he's heading straight to Babbo's base. He's going to go for the lightning. He's got the shot. He's killed him. Oh, there are tons of troops here. This could be huge. If he can stop these, that earthquake is not that great. It's sort of gone the wrong way you would have hoped for. He needs to stop those troops.
What Babo's attack has done here, because these troops are not going to be buffed by a shaman, they're not going to have magical shield, and in fact he uses the fire warrior there to take the deliberate death. That death was deliberate. The quick respawn timer from a water death is going to get him back to his base in time for these troops to arrive.
I think Nissi will know that. He's just taking up the tower now. He's going to use them to just hold the middle position now. Meanwhile, in the second base of Babo, he's recovered now. He's continuing to build and expand. By expand, I mean upgrade. He is building towards his main base. As you can see, now that they're connected, they can bring babes. They can bring the babes to and from each tribe. I've said babes and bitches so far in this tournament, so God knows what my next B is going to be.
Bitches wasn't in the VOD until just then, so now you've definitely said babes and bitches.
My bad. I thought it was. I thought I said it at the start.
But that's all right. That sounds like a new rap song, doesn't it? Babes and bitches.
Babes and bitches brought to you by Lavenji DJ on the mic. I need some more boost. We've got a nice attack here from Nissi. He managed to kill Babo's shame, and now he's going to bring the troops forward. Has he got magical shield to back this up? If he does, this could be humongous. He doesn't. He's going to opt for the
coming down
swarms.
from Nissi. The side land bridge. We've seen this being used by most players who have played this map now. It's been a favourite angle of approach. Lightning from Babo, missing most of the warriors. It only got a couple of them.
Nissi Shaman's coming. He's got 3 tornadoes and an earthquake to do some damage here. Another
Max
top-notch
range
lightning. That's beautiful.
Coming in clutch is Babo's lightning skill, which is rare for Babo. Babo's lights are normally diabolical.
And more importantly, he's killed the shaman, but he's also cleaned up the troops, which is very important.
He's killed the shaman, he's cleaned up the troops, and his last attack actually took out most of the troop huts, meaning Nissi's had to rebuild his temple, which he's working on. Yeah, rebuild the warrior training hut as well. So Nissi's troop production is actually going to be lulling behind a little bit, as well as having had all those troops killed.
And considering that position, it's very smart for him to bring those preachers back there, because he knew had he lost them, he would have no more. Absolutely, and Babo's recognized a threat, and I like this from Babo. The boathouse here is on the inside of the map. Obviously, there are still gaps where it can get to the outside, but I like this. It's taken the quicker path, and perhaps just using it as a quick assault option later on. You see, it's going for this stonehead in the middle now. I don't know if Babo's noticed that, but we'll see if he sneakily gets that spell. Volcano, like you mentioned earlier. Population-wise,
back of Babo's base with preachers.
Oh, clever.
Tornado onto the boathouse before the first boat is constructed. Ghost Army coming down for Nissi here to check whether there's fire warriors inside these huts. He knows Babo's been training a whole bunch of these troops. Earthquake coming down for Nissi, and Nissi is down. This is Babo's opportunity. Magical shield onto some breachers. Going to be trying to push on into the base. I'd actually quite like to see an erode on this high ground, because just taking away that range could be very beneficial.
Yeah, or at least a minimum get a land bridge up there and put the preachers towards the towers. But he's going to run them past. He's going to risk losing his shaman here if he's not too careful.
That's shaman dead.
Oh, the fall damage there. Earthquake's not gone the way they would have wanted, but it's taken out the towers. The preachers need to get separated quickly before the shaman gets over there. I can smell it hypnotize. More magical sword preachers pushing through the front now. Going to distract Nissi's shaman. Let's see what he's going to opt to do. There's the one hypno. And that'll be enough to take out the first wave.
Yep, those hypnotized preachers are going to be able to engage with the magical shielded preachers and just disrupt the very interesting story. Nissi's earthquake on Babo's base has once again separated the two bases from one another, and both of Babo's temples are in the second base.
And Nissi's bringing his preachers back now. They've done the damage. He recognised they were at risk of dying. He's brought them back. A nice road there, perhaps. He's finally taken out that hill.
That's the erode I think Babo wanted, and I think he wanted that way earlier than he got it. Because now Nissi's base looks a lot more attackable, a lot more approachable. He sent a preacher over to disrupt Nisi trying to get the free volcano, and he's managed to start grabbing that himself instead. He's sending Braves to slow down the hypnotized preachers, trying to preserve their life.
Yep. Doesn't want to kill his own men.
They should come back anytime now, and in fact they have just come back. Nisi's preachers in combat, going to be picked up.
Shaman duel.
Trading lights. They really don't want to go into blast range. They don't want to take the chance.
Bit of the tower shot.
Tower.
Yeah.
I think it's clever anyway, because you don't want to see Yellow Shaman dip into that tower and surprise you.
Still, no magical shields for the Shaman attacks. It would be nice. I would love to see right now some magic, some invisible fireworks just appear out of nowhere and blast either of them into the water. It would be so good to see.
So looking at the bases, who would you say is ahead right now?
Well, if I go to the world view and have a look at Babel's base, and then I compare it to Nisi's base, it's just by... Yeah, I would say Babel's looks better at first glance. I haven't looked too deep into it.
Babo is currently sporting an impressive 30 population lead at the moment, with a additional green bar of 50.
I think Babos, Nisi's recognised this, and I was just thinking to myself, what if Nisi goes to the second base and just destroys it? But has he got the spells? He's taken his shaman on a trip, on a journey, really. well, Babos tries to attack.
Struggling.
Yeah, Nisi's just going around the whole world. He's going to stop the prey in the middle, which is smart, but he'll have to get out the boat to do that.
Blast onto the prey. Just going to clean up all of those Braves. Oh, that's a beautiful thing to watch. That many Braves flying through the air.
It's so interesting. Just something as simple as getting a boat to the middle of the Stonehead. As I can see, Babel's ship falling into the water in the back of my screen there. I was just saying that just a simple move like that is something you don't normally see, but it's such a clever move. And to see some competitive players using everything essentially of what is available to them in the game of Populous the Beginner.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things that has impressed me the most about the Revival mod is a fair few players have actually embraced the spirit of it. One of the community veterans, Tundar, has been watching the tournament and has actually been coming in and trying to play some Revival just for the sake of playing Revival, which is good to see.
Yeah, we've not seen anything overly oppressive yet. I mean, it's not been played enough to warrant what would be, I suppose, the meta game, but it's hard to have a meta game when the maps are so diverse. Seeing yet another lightning battle here. A lot of warriors there. Maybe magical shields them up. In fact, invisible warriors could maybe do a sneak slice, a little assassination.
That's a favourite of yours.
It certainly is. Oh, and he's fallen the drink. He had to have been aware of that risk here. What would really make me cream my pants right now is if these towers had invisible fire warriors in and they just shot the shaman. That would be amazing. Unfortunately, no. So let's see what Nisi can do.
I feel like that's a really obscure combination of spells that you'll be waiting a while before you witness that one happening.
Yes, considering you've got 2 minutes before the invisibility wears off, it would be amazing. So Nisi's in the base again here. He's got an earthquake. He's got 2 more lightnings in his... I keep saying arsenal. I want to try and think of a better word, but arsenal. Another missed lightning there from Babo. He's bringing some of his troops across from the second base whilst running his Braves over there, aware of the risk of losing his main base here. He is still in the population lead, but not by much now.
No, and these warriors are going to cause absolute havoc if Babo isn't able to clean them up. It's important he wins this shaman duel, but I'm not sure he's feeling confident he can after his last 2 deaths. Oh, the shamans have been pushed into blasting range. There you go. You get some blast tricking going. Babo's in the water.
And Nisi's dead. Okay, but then warriors are now free to destroy as much as they can before the preachers of Babo do come over. I think... oh, he's going to run them back.
Smart troop control from Nisi, and this is one of the things that really makes Nisi stand out as a phenomenal player. He does not throw his troops away. Even when they're in the middle of your base, if he thinks he can get his troops out, he'll start running them and trying to get them out. And you can even see he's manually separating these warriors to minimize the fire warrior splash damage. very good troop control from Nisi there to get the majority of those warriors out. A couple of preachers are going to catch the stragglers at the back there. Babo doesn't actually have a warrior training hut, so he's relying on the... Well, no, he does. He's built one at last. He didn't until just now.
You see, with boats in the middle with just braves in, I'm not sure he's controlling them for something at the moment, but able to do a lot of things. He's rebuilding his main base now that the land has come back. Land can come back sooner with the use of the flatten element energy.
Yes. So the flatten spell, combined with earthquakes, significantly increased cost. The flatten spell healing damaged land was one of the things to counter. There goes the warrior training hut that I just mentioned.
Oh no, Nisi, you were talking about his troop control being so amazing and preserving the warriors. You just had all 6 stacked up and just got blasted into the water. But yes, he was obviously determined here and focused on Babo's base here, and he's lost his shame but got the earthquake down.
Yeah, Babo once again finds himself in a position at the front of Nisi's base. That earthquake is absolutely devastating.
Well, it took out a hood. It might have been better if it went the other way, but there we go. Babo with the attack. He's got his magical shielded men again. He's doing another earthquake on the defense, which it brings.
I mean, it's worked for him because it's got rid of most of those towers, and now there's preachers with magical shield on their way.
If Babo can get the men around his shim, protect himself, just take the boat and scarper out of there, go to the back of the base this way.
Another firestorm from Babo there.
But he tried
to get fancy, and now he's stuck in the back of Nisi's base. He does blast the boat back onto the water. He's casually waiting.
Shaman's coming. It's like Jaws. Can he get the boat and escape? He's escaped.
And that was ballsy of Babo to try that trick one more time with Nisi's shaman on his heels.
And he even made Nisi use a lightning there. Firestorm taking out 3 huts. Hasn't taken out the warrior hut though. But look where he's landed.
He's in the second base. He's getting the fire warrior training hut. Here comes the other firestorm. Babo still has 2 earthquakes available to him as well. He's got so much population. Nisi hasn't been able to dent it. Double earthquake comes down. This base is pretty much gone, you would think.
Yeah, if he can get some troops in here just to clean this up, this base is gone. Of course, population now. He's in a huge advantage, Babo. He's 60 population ahead.
Here is Nisi doing what Nisi does. He wants to trade. He's taking his army. He's looking at Babo's front door and he's saying, I am coming in. Here come the swarms for Nisi.
Babo's just tried to do the blast trick again to get into his boat quicker. He's failed, so now he can't even get back to his base at all.
He's going to the water. It looks like he's probably going to drown himself. Yeah, there you go. Drowned.
Get the earthquake off as well at the same time. Just killed a few more braves, destroyed a few more huts. Nisi now, some magical shielded on the preachers to help him get in. Lightning on the tower. Checking for fire warriors in the huts. And now, what has he got in his arsenal?
Oh, those fire warriors in the hut get a volley, but they not quite enough. Take out Nisi's shaman. Nisi throws an earthquake down onto the high ground. Those fire warriors inside the hut being a nuisance. The hut is touched by the lava.
Recognize the danger of that hut. Babo's shaman is back now.
Babo's shaman is back, but immediately gave up the high ground, which surprises me slightly.
You can see the players here are opting to have hypnotizers available to them in case they need it, and obviously this has been very helpful. Now you can push Nisi back. Of course, got to be careful that Nisi doesn't have a lightning.
So the only problem with Babo's position is, whilst he's done a lot of damage to Nisi, he's got a significant population advantage. He does not have the army that Nisi is currently fielding, and well, I kind of said it once, but I'm going to say it again. The army is incredibly important in Populous, but even more so when it comes to revival.
Yep, and Babo's killed the hypnotized men that he had. He's jumped into the balloon. He's going to head back to one of the bases. He's got the temple to maybe to aim for, which is in between the bases there. But have to be careful. There's a fire warriors in the huts.
There's a temple, there's a fire warrior training hut, and a warrior hut, and I'm sure he will eventually want to take out all of them.
I am so surprised there were no fire warriors in the huts here. An earthquake, erode combo. Well, took out a couple of huts, but Nishi's now pushing into the main base of Baba with his troops.
Baba's doing what he can to assassinate as much as you can assassinate inanimate objects. The troop training huts for Nisi here. Nisi, recognizing the desperation of his position, he's basically brought every follower he has that is trained. He's got every single fire warrior in Baba's base. Baba, you got to watch that coastline because that fire warrior could have shot you. Nisi is once again running away, but Babo's got the high ground. He might be able to get... Nope, his shaman chose not to use the high ground. Oh, here she comes again. He might be able to get some good kills onto the pop. No, not great with light number 1. Light number 2 also failing to find any real damage there. Looks like Nisi does get his army out. Fire warrior training hut is damaged but still standing. Nisi's currently without a temple. And doesn't look to be building one either, which is an interesting choice.
What took the temple out? Did Babo take it before he left?
Yeah, Babo hit it with the tornado. Babo's been very quick about getting into the boat, moving around, getting into another boat, moving around, getting into another boat, moving around, and just sort of repeating that cycle over and over and over again.
He's certainly using the vehicles to his advantage. We haven't seen balloons yet. Now, would fire warriors in balloons be an option for Babo here to put pressure on the second base?
Balloons are exceptionally weak in Revival. Oh, Nisi getting killed and some of those troops getting killed.
Oh, no!
And then Babo doing what Babo does. Finding new ways to try and teach his shaman to swim.
I think had his shaman not died there, he could have made one humongous attack there and taken out those troops. But Nisi will live to fight another day. Yes, balloons are weak, and they are also very expensive, but they are not weak if there is nothing attacking them. And I don't think there's anything in the second base that would give any threat to the balloons, because the fire warriors of Nisi are all stacked up in that massive army there at the front.
The problem is Babo is a bit loath to give up the building space. The balloon hut is so awkward to fit in your base. You're often giving up 1, 2... in a worst case scenario, even 3 huts to build it.
Ah, you're very correct. It's expensive in wood cost. It's also expensive in space. But look, what Nisi could have killed that creature and just ran away. Oh no! Oh, there's a swarm. Magical shield it, Babo. Magical shield it. Actually, it won't work against swarm with it. Come on, Craig.
No, it doesn't work against swarm.
Think about it. I can't hit. Oh, he's killed him.
If he'd watched the beginnings spell breakdown on Swarm on YouTube, he'd know that the first direction the Swarm goes in is always the same.
That's very true. It took me a year to research that. With some of the worst graphical design you've ever seen, yeah. I was using that to my advantage once in level 5 of Path of the God Chosen when I was trying to end the level with swarms. The arena level.
Well, there you go. Who said it was a waste of time?
Me.
So, Babo once again dying. Nisi again bringing the Grand Army, the Great Heathen Army.
I just don't think this is enough from Nisi. He's got no big spells, at least nothing that we can see. Maybe he's got erodes or whatever, but
I don't know if it's an oversight or just an awareness of how far behind he is, but Nisi hasn't built another temple even now. He keeps taking this army and trying to push it into Nisi's base, or into Babo's base, and it's slowly bleeding out. He's losing more and more of it.
Yeah, but it's difficult. If you're not familiar with population, you think, okay, he's only a few populations behind. That's not much, but I mean, 60 population for a prolonged period gives you so much more mana. You can cast so many more spells. You've got the freedom just to ignore. Look, he's running straight past. He knows Nisi Shaman's in his base. He's not worried. He knows he's ahead. This is also why Nisi's doing this, because he knows he's behind. He has to try and make something happen. Look at those troops from Babo in the middle coming to defend his base, while his Shaman is off preaching Nisi's men on the way. Look at this. He's losing fire warriors and warriors.
Do you know what Babo's at risk of happening right now? If Nisi can clear up these troops that have been clicked onto his Shaman, there's enough fire warriors in Babo's base to set up a core camp. It looks like Nisi's not opted to go for that. He's instead going to opt to interrupt a preacher and try to save some of his followers.
Finally, we see a magical shield. Yeah, and the shaman sunk there. Is that intentional, perhaps, so he can get back and defend his base?
But look at all those fire warriors. They're going straight for Babo's core. And that's enough for a core camp. This could effectively be an all or nothing attack for Babo, because if he dies here and that core camp is set up, he's going to have such a hard problem clearing it because of the high ground.
I don't think it's going to be too bad. He has got troops he can train, and he's bringing fire warriors from his second base.
Nisi has pulled those fire warriors off the high ground as well, so it's actually going to be okay for Babo now if he dies here. Lightning from Nisi is absolutely flawless. Easy shot.
Great shot, but he has got to get rid of these preachers in his base now. He's hypnotized some of the troops. There are also some fire warriors with magical shield as well, and Nisi's going to opt to... Oh, look at that. See, one magical shield troop stopped by a hypno. That is a great amount of mana to do that. People think hypno, yeah, that's the counter, but mana-wise, it's very expensive unless it is a clump of them.
Yeah, and Nisi is finally seeing about working his way back up to a temple. And I think it's worked for Nisi because the population gap is halved.
It's gone from 170-80 down to 140, so... Game's not over yet.
You know, Nisi's use of troops is really demonstrating their power through and through. You know, Babo's had some great shaman attacks. He's had some great shaman kills. He's also had a couple of silly deaths. But these troops from Nisi are just relentless, causing absolute chaos in his base at any sort of given time.
Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but it looks to me like Babo wants to train some preachers. What do you think? Do you agree with my assessment?
Babo has a couple of braves that are interested in learning the way of the cloth. Just one or two. Babo does like the unit preacher. Well, he doesn't like the unit preacher. He feels that it is the strongest of the three units. So with them turned on, he does try to utilize them. But yes.
Look at the population difference now.
There barely is one.
What has just happened that Babo has gone from 170 down to 120, so he's lost his shaman in a duel there. Oh, could this be swinging around? Is Nisi going to make a comeback here? I mean, let's be honest, he didn't look down and out, but he was definitely behind.
Well, I would say in most games, especially with players of this caliber, if you're down 60 pop, you expect to lose, don't you? I mean, obviously there is the one pop club, and the comebacks happen sometimes in Populous, but I would say on the whole, you spend as long as Nisi did behind as much pop as Nisi was, you expect to lose the game.
Yeah, you also have to remember, often Babo had the population need for a while. He had much more mana charging, so he has got big spells in his, I'm going to say it again, arsenal.
You do like that word?
Yeah, I wish you'd give me another alternative, please, the Benji, tell me.
I like the word arsenal as well. That's usually my go-to.
Is that what we're going? Oh, I stole it from you now. What did you dare say it either?
So, Babo's going to let Nisi attack him once again. Babo's constant trading, I think, is starting to not work for him.
Well, he has risen in population since, so there's been a few births, but the population has also risen for Nisi. He's got the earthquakes off. His main base is essentially all damaged now. He can't really produce many men there, but he's off with magical shielded men in balloons and his shaman. Going to try and just take over this entire second base. Nisi shaman is not here. This could be a very, very solid move. He's trying to do the blasting, I think.
There are a lot of preachers, and Babo's recognized that the temple is isolated, so he's effectively given his order to all of those preachers to go towards the temple.
We have the first ghost shaman bought deception.
Which one's real?
That one casting spells.
The one casting spells, thank you.
Did you just cast... Okay. I thought he cast
Cast
it
the
on the
Firestorm
water.
on 2 hertz.
Yeah. Well, he wants to get the damage out. He's got the spells. He's had them charged for a while, I presume. You can only charge so many devastating spells, and you have to start charging others.
Look at that mana. That's what you get when you're sitting on a 60 pop lead, right?
Exactly.
You can just unleash an absolute devastating onslaught of spells.
This could well... This one attack here from Babo has been devastating. His Shaman has taken out Nisi's main base, and his Magical Shielded Preachers have taken out the second. Population count now, he's now double, almost. Well, not double, but, you know, almost double.
So Nisi has managed to get out a couple of Preachers, and he's going to slowly send them to try and interrupt the Magically Shielded Preachers of Babo. One of them getting caught in combat with Braves, another one getting caught in combat with Braves. Might not go very well if this troop control stays this way.
Babo's Shaman is there, though.
Babo's Shaman looks like she's got the temple in her sights. If she takes that out, could very well be a good game for Babo. Nisi seeing a red bar for a few seconds there for the first time. Pretty much since this game began. 66 pop. Out of 66. 63. It's plummeting. It's plummeting. Babo's now well over double Nisi's population.
This was a very, very clinical attack. Obviously, he had that population lead for a while, like we've discussed, so he had the chance to charge all those spells and was waiting for the right opportunity, and he found it.
But Nisi is not saying die. He's pushing in. He's got quite a few Preachers of his own. Shaman going to get shot at by the Fire Warriors, but the Fire Warriors didn't get the kill in return. Babo's Shaman tries to challenge Nisi there. And with the assistance, the Fire Warriors gets the kill onto Nisi. Nisi's army once again forced to run away. Babo's main base, though, looking in an absolute state. But the same can be said for all of Nisi's bases. Nisi calls GG.
Nisi calls GG, and we go to the third game, tied 1-1 in this Populous Revival Tournament Best of 7 final.
That was a 42-minute mega match, that one. Babo played that very well. Was not expecting this to go the way that it did after that opening. But it looks like we're at the very least going to have a finals. It's not going to be a 4-0 sweep.
That was an interesting game. Very happy to see it go that way. Exclamation mark surrender is not the command. There it is. There it is. Good game, right. 1-1.